Right now, 22,500 innocent people are sitting in a steel cage in the middle of the ocean. They are mariners from dozens of countries, trapped on over 1,500 ships that have not moved in 7 weeks. They are running out of food, clean water, and sanity. Meanwhile, one of the most volatile regions in the world watches them through crosshairs. You have not heard their names, but you are already paying for their imprisonment every time you look at a price tag. To understand why this situation escalated so quickly, you must look at the most dangerous choke point in the world. The answer is not in a press release. It is in the live fire currently lighting up the Persian Gulf. On paper, the goal sounds simple: move ships. But what is actually happening is something far more dangerous. On Sunday, May 3rd, 2026, the United States launched Project Freedom. The goal sounds simple: move ships. But what is actually happening is something far more dangerous. The United States is attempting to break a 7-week Iranian stranglehold that has effectively held the global economy hostage. This matters to your wallet because gas prices just hit a national average of $4.46. Brent crude has exploded past $110 a barrel. If this mission fails, those numbers are just the beginning of a total economic collapse. To understand the scale of what is happening, look at what Pete Hegseth calls the powerful red, white, and blue dome. This is not just a few ships from the United States Navy. It is a massive application of American combat power. Over 15,000 American service members are currently executing this mission to secure the waterway. The United States Navy has established an enhanced security area on the southern side of the strait. On the surface, guided missile destroyers are acting as the ultimate bodyguards, detecting and defeating Iranian threats in real time. But look closer at the sky. More than 100 fighters and attack aircraft are providing defensive overwatch for peaceful commercial vessels all day, every day. The most critical detail is that the 82nd Airborne Division is synchronizing the mission. When the president needs immediate, scalable, and lethal combat power, the All-American Division answers the call. The 82nd is the core of the nation's immediate response force. In this mission, they are coordinating everything in real time. They are faster than any human system could be. They are not just watching for ships, they are watching for frothiness. This refers to the small boats and drones Iran uses to harass the world. As of Monday morning, the first 2 United States flagged vessels successfully transited the strait. It was a signal that the lane is clear for now. But while the United States says the dome is ironclad, the Iranians are already taking shots at the glass. On paper, there is a ceasefire, which supposedly began on April 8th. But if you listen to the actual reports from the United States Navy, that ceasefire is a ghost. Since it was signed, Iran has fired at commercial vessels 9 times and seized 2 container ships. They have attacked United States forces more than 10 times in just the last few weeks. The military is using the specific term low-level kinetics to describe this. They want to keep this mission separate from the broader conflict with Iran, known as Operation Epic Fury. The United States is negotiating with a system that does not fully control its own forces. There is a massive divide inside Iran itself. While negotiators review a 14-point war end plan, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard is going rogue. Pete Hegseth admitted that the IRGC is taking actions outside the bounds of what the negotiators want. Just yesterday, Iran launched cruise missiles, drones, and small boats at United States forces defending the strait. United States Navy Seahawk and Army Apache helicopters had to blow those threats off the face of the earth. This was necessary just to keep the humanitarian mission moving. The United States says it is defensive, but the United Arab Emirates recently engaged 12 ballistic missiles, 3 cruise missiles, and 4 drones fired from Iran. When you are intercepting that many missiles in a single day, defensive starts to look a lot like total war. You might think these tensions are just a military problem. In reality, this is an attack on your bank account. The strait is a vital transit route for approximately 1/5 of global oil consumption. When that route is choked, the global supply chain is weaponized. It is not just oil. Pete Hegseth noted that this Strait of Hormuz blockade hits the world's poorest people the hardest. This is because it cuts off the flow of fertilizer. If fertilizer does not move, food prices do not just rise. They double. Then there is the insurance cliff. Right now, there are 22,500 mariners trapped because shipping companies are terrified. The United States launched Project Freedom without coordinating with the shipping industry. This left companies scrambling for details. Jacob Larson of the Shipping Association BIMCO warned that the security situation is unsustainable. Insurance companies may decide the dome is not enough to stop a mine. If they stop insuring ships, the flow of goods stops completely. The Strait of Hormuz blockade is a tax on everything you buy. The United States Navy is currently the only thing standing between you and economic collapse. So, how long will this last? The strategy here is a calculated dare. Trump is telling the world that the United States will lead, but it will not stay forever. Pete Hegseth was blunt when he said the world needs this waterway a lot more than the United States does. The United States is currently providing a direct gift of security, but they expect partner nations to step up soon. This is a massive shift in global security. For decades, the United States was the permanent policeman of the Gulf. Now, the United States is signaling that this is a temporary mission. But here is the problem. This only works if Iran plays along. Trump has already encouraged South Korea to join the mission. This comes after one of their cargo ships suffered a possible attack near the United Arab Emirates. If other countries do not join, the United States might decide the cost in American lives is too high. The United States is also changing the rules of engagement. General Dan Kane noted that while the violence is low, the threshold for war is a political decision. If Iran crosses that invisible line, the United States is locked and loaded to resume major combat operations without hesitation. As this story develops, there are 3 specific red flags. First are the sea mines. The United States is warning that the usual routes through the strait are extremely hazardous. This is due to mines that have not been fully surveyed or mitigated. Iran says they will clear the mines, but only after a deal is signed. One underwater explosion on a commercial tanker could end Project Freedom in an instant. Second is the nuclear silence. Iran has stated that their current 14-point plan has no nuclear negotiations at this stage. However, the United States has been clear that having no nuclear ambitions is a non-negotiable part of a permanent deal. This is a massive diplomatic gap. The United States may feel Iran is buying time for a nuclear program. If so, the dome will become a strike force. Third is the frothiness factor. Watch the small boats. Pete Hegseth dismissed them as all Iran has left, but they are the most likely spark for a larger fire. A move by a commander at the edge could ruin the plan. It will not matter what the 14-point plan says. The United States destroyers are authorized to respond kinetically and quickly. The world is breathing a little easier today because 2 ships made it through. But that breath is shallow. The truth is, we are one low-level kinetic event away from a global price shock that could last for years. The United States has shown it can open the door, but it has not shown it can keep it open. We are watching a high-stakes poker game where the chips are the world's oil and the players are locked and loaded. Is Project Freedom a move to save the economy? Or is it a bull in a china shop approach that leads to war? What happens in the strait does not stay there. It shows up in your fuel, your food, and your cost of living. Subscribe if you want to stay ahead of it. We will keep you updated on the Strait of Hormuz closure news and the United States Navy's next moves. Leave a comment below. Do you think the dome will hold, or is the ceasefire already dead?